Ngozi Talk Shows. Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within. Find your own voice. Let the world hear your voice and be filled within.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
Welcome to Ngozi Talk Shows, everyone. My name is Nomsa Clara Mngbe. I am the founder of Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency and the founder of Ngozi Talk Shows. I am your host today, and I'm a love harmonist. With me today, I have Dr. Biget, and she's one of the leaders at Ngozi Talk Shows. Over to you, Dr. Biget. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you, Numsa. It's an honor and a delight to be here. Let me ask you today, do you know anyone who would love to bring more love into their life? Perhaps somebody who are single and would love to be with the love of their life, or perhaps you or somebody you know already in a relationship and would love to keep it thriving, to keep it going wonderfully well and get better and better each day instead of having the flame fade away. And so, if that's the case, you would love to bring peace into your life, or you would love to keep the passions going, then listen up because we're going to share with you on how, and we're going to on how to do this, on how grief, in particular hidden grief, will interfere with your love life. Yes, there are grief that you don't know existing, as well as many other factors can interfere with your love life. And I am Dr. Birgit Tan. I am a grief transformation specialist and here to serve you with honor and delight.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Biget. So our topic today is how to find love in 30 days. 30 days, only 30 days. So are you someone who is looking for love or who is in a relationship and you are not really experiencing your relationship fully because who hurt you back then, or sometimes you basically given up to find love because you've been hurt, you've been rejected before. So, Dr. Biget, we're just gonna be sharing basically the tools of how to find love in 30 days. So sometimes some people believe that they are not enough. Sometimes people believe that they're not going to find somebody that is going to accept them for who they are, and basically having identity crises. But the good news is, if you are still alive, you're still breathing, you can still find love. And the good news is there is everybody for everyone. I don't know if Dr. Biget, if you've gone through this dated people that when they split up with you, like, you're never going to find anyone like me. I'm like, no, I'm not going to find anyone like you. That's why we're splitting up. And to some people, it affects them for life, but you can still find love. It doesn't matter what background you come from. It doesn't matter basically nationality. There is everybody for everyone. So, Dr. Piget, would you like to take the stage basically and in your own opinion and understanding about the topic, and just start and then I will.
Absolutely, yes. And you are the love expert here. You are the love harmonist, right? And the love. So
Yeah.
is one that's one thing. I'm hearing a lot of echoing. Are you able to hear me well?
Yes, let me pause myself. Let me pause.
Okay. That is. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me well with the echoing. So the with love and like you said, Numsa, either bringing a loved one into your life or being able to be fully present, to be 100%, to be having a love life that you truly love. And the number one thing, as you imply already to me at least, is to be able to be fully there, you authentically, kind of, because everybody want to be inside of every one of us. We yearn to be ourselves and to be accepted as we are. And so for me it comes excuse me, it's come down to accepting ourselves, accepting ourselves, all the good and the not so awesomeness, and accepting the other person as they are. Now, the one thing that many people forgot actually is when you the part of accepting yourself. If you have a lot of baggage, if you say, gosh, I wish I have not done this in the past, and that is something like a monster in the closet here. Oh my goodness, how could I possibly think about this about myself on a daily basis? And this is like a monster in this other closet over here. My goodness, I hate my legs and I hate my hair. I'm just giving example because in the past I used to hate my legs and my tummy, right? And all these other things. Then if you hate yourself, well, what are you going to bring into your life? Because everything outside of us is a reflection of inside of us. And so if you hate yourself here and you have a shame here and you have a disgust about something and you're disappointed with yourself on a daily basis, what do you think you're going to bring into your life? And so that is something that we definitely want to address, in additions to also be able to recognize your hidden baggage, not just your visible baggage, which is what we just mentioned, all this other thing, but also to recognize your hidden baggage. But before I go into the hidden baggage, the baggage that many of us don't know, and I'll share you a tip or two in a moment. Let me bring it back to Numsat. So, what is your thought about that, Numsat? About not having a monster in the closet before you find love?
I'm still muted. Oh my goodness. Why did you interfere? I agree with you, Dr. Bigot. I'm sorry, guys. Basically, you don't have to basically to find love. I agree with Dr. Bigot. You basically need to get rid of baggage, the baggage that is inside of you, the walls that you've built in front of you. Because when we protect ourselves, when we're being hurt, we build walls and walls. I don't want to find love. I want to find love, but I need to protect myself. I need to do this. Or you grow up with a messed up family. We all have messed up family. I have messed up family, by the way. So, and then you build walls and build walls. But guess what? The good news is you can actually work on yourself. And basically, no one comes from a perfect family. If you come from a wealthy family, there's something actually messed up there. If you come from a poor family, whatever background is, there is a problem. So you still need to work on yourself, because when you are raised by parents, they raise you in their own way. So you still have to, when you're older, find your own way, how you're going to design your life. So that means you have to work on the baggage that you basically and learn things so you can actually design your own life and find that romance in 30 days. You don't have to figure it out. You have to follow the blueprint. Somebody else figured it out already. So you need to follow the blueprint in order to get things right. So somebody else has already written a book, How to Find Love in 30 Days. Somebody else, like myself, I've already figured out due to my messed up life. And so you don't have to, you just have to, you basically ask yourself about your beliefs, your values. And once you ask yourself, my beliefs and my values, God, I put God first in my life, family first, health. The list goes on, contribution, we talk freedom and connection, success. Those are my beliefs, generosity and openness, love and encouragement, harmony, peace. That's why I call myself not a matchmaker, but I'm a love harmonist because I love to live in harmony. And for me to be able to believe these things, for me to be able to actually value these things, I had to work on myself. So, Dr. Bigot, over to you. So, just to let you know, guys, once you work out on your beliefs, that's the first step. Once you work out on your beliefs, and once you finish working out on your beliefs, your mind is gonna have to work on the next step. Now you figure you out. You worked on your messed up life. You worked on your beliefs. What you believe to be true in life. Then you need to look at the other person. What do they believe? So I'm gonna give this to Dr. Bigot.
Yeah, and as you work on your belief, as you work on yourself, in your endeavor to live a full life, because it really what it is to be able to live, to be, if we want to have a full wonderful life and a whole life, then we want to be able to be whole ourselves. We're not trying to have somebody else fill us up. And one thing for me that I find consistent basis that most people don't realize this, most people don't know this, is that they tend to, many of us going around, sometimes we know that we have baggage, but many of us don't know that we have unrecognized or hidden baggage or invisible baggage. In other words, we have things that happen, you have things that happen in your past such that you're not even aware about it. That's the tricky part. You're not even aware about it. It's not something that's still in the back of your mind haunting you or anything like that, but it is very possibly still influencing you now in a way that you are that influencing your ability to love as well. And how do you know that you might, very possibly it's about 99% of the time that you carry a hidden baggage? If you have a trigger, if you have a trigger, which what I mean by a trigger, if somebody says something that you just you notice somebody doing something, perhaps you just hear some news or something, and it just kind of like make you like where you react to it instead of like, oh, okay, you're just noticing. So something trigger you. If you have a trigger, then typically almost consistently triggers come from unrecognized, unresolved, hidden grief. And the other clue that you might very possibly have unrecognized, unresolved, hidden grief is actually when you try, you do your very best, you do this personal development and you do that kind of love coaching, and you buy this book and do everything in that, and you buy this program and do perfectly everything, and you're just not seeing your results. Kind of like you hit a glass ceiling, and you're like, "What is this? None of these coaches or everything work." You might go you might go along and you might seems like it's wonderful, and then you retrieve back and you keep going back and forth like that, and kind of make the love coaching or personal development coaching doesn't seem to work. Then very very possibly it's something else is that most people, unfortunately, even most coaches don't recognize, and that is the hidden grief. I'm able to recognize this because I happen to be in addition to being a grief specialist, I'm also a life transformation coach. And so I have the benefit of being able to see the whole picture, so to say. Good morning, Reina. Please share your thought about what's your thought about this? That when we keep trying to move forward and one after another coaches and personal development, and then you keep going back, that's usually something else holding you back. And the one that's most common and consistent is hidden grief about that. And so share your thought. Have you ever noticed, do you know anyone who is interested in finding more love in their life, or keeping up with the passions in their life, or somebody else is that you might notice that they have triggers, and those are the two things. When you have triggers, you notice yourself have triggers, or you keep trying to move forward and you see seemingly that there's an invisible cord pulling you back. Just know that that invisible cord might be very very possibly hidden grief that things yeah, we definitely go through that, and it might be with love or other things in life that is holding you back, and that is something you want to clear. And once you clear that, you'll be surprised how everything seems to just fall smoothly, and now you can be your full person in the best possible way, without now not only your baggages being clear but your invisible baggages. And so that is something that, in my thing is, if you want to find ramen, bring in love in 30 days, then one of the things you definitely really want you need to do. And as Reina says here, thank you for sharing. Yes, you want to start loving your days, yourself, and take care of your appearance. And I think that's something that you mentioned the other day on my podcast, Nomsa, taking care of your appearance moment to moment, isn't it?
Yes, you have to actually, you have to, if you are single, you have to behave like a single person. And basically, if you want to find love, you have to get yourself out there. And how you show up is how you're going to find love within 30 days. If you say, okay, I am single, I am looking for love. Not one day I'm hoping that I'm going to find love. I'm single, I'm looking for love. And work on yourself, like Dr. Pickett said, write your goals, work on yourself, because when the person that you are looking for in your heart, you have to be that person first. You cannot say, I want this, I want this, I want that, if you are not that. Of course, you cannot be a millionaire, but if you want to date a millionaire, you require to know how does a millionaire lifestyle works. The millionaire lifestyle, we work long hours. We travel a lot. So we basically on the road. So if our families, like myself, my spouse, they have to understand my lifestyle, how my lifestyle works. If that person does not understand my lifestyle, my business will fall apart, because emotionally I am focusing on meeting that person's needs, not meeting my needs for my business and my needs for myself. So you have to understand the millionaire lifestyle. Once you understand it, the person you are looking for, the person, or you basically, you can't be picky. If you are looking, because God has billionaires prepared, but they are not ready. But that person in their book of life, they are destined to be a billionaire. And you, as a woman, as a mentor, you become a mentor. to mentor that man to become who they want to become. I'm not saying find a man who is lazy, who hasn't got a work, who hasn't got a vision, hoping that they're going to be a millionaire. You know what I'm talking about. So we're looking for the men that are already have a vision. They're already working, they have job with, even if they are earning 50 grand, 60 grand per year, 80 grand per year, but they have a vision in life. So those are the kind of men you need to look for. You have women who are working, but they have big vision. So you meeting that man, you are becoming an architect. As a man, you become an architect to that man, to that woman, and she becomes a mentor you, so that you guys can become what you want to become, both of you, the vision. So you have to basically get ready. When you step outside, emotionally, you're ready. Clothing, you are ready. For me, basically, I'm not a love harmonist that tells people what to wear, because that doesn't work. I've tried it. What people say when you go on date, wear this, wear that, it doesn't work. The reason why I'm saying it doesn't work is what works for somebody else is not going to work for me. So as long you can't wear the cleavage, that means a man has to keep guessing what's on the inside here, the boobs. You can't go on the first date showing your boobies, say, here I am, have it all. No, we can't do that. We have to close, wear nice, sexy, but close here. Let him keep guessing what's underneath. Then you get to know the person. You're walking, bus stop, you can find love. Train station, you can find love. Shopping, you can find love. That's how us matchmakers we do. We basically meet. For me, basically, when I'm walking, I'm looking. A man, I start chatting to them. Oh, by the way, are you single? I'm a matchmaker. I would like to have you in my books. So that's how it works. And if I see a woman, I talk to them, conversation, are you single? Uh, uh, I'm a matchmaker. I like to get to know you. What do you do? So if that matches my agency, values and beliefs, I take that person. So you have to be ready, not desperate. There's a difference between being ready and being desperate. So when I'm saying you dress, I mean you dress like a single woman. You smile. When you go step outside, you smile. When you walk, you smile, you give basically every person attention, because the universe is searching. The moment you say, I'm searching for love, basically the universe is searching as well. So Reina, you can type basically and show us how, and just share with us what you think. So basically the universe, by the time you decide and saying I'm single, I'm looking for love, the universe goes, okay, we're going on hunting. So the universe wants you to search, and the universe wants you to basically close. Some people believe that sexy. I used to believe that sexy is for me to show my boobs, is for me to basically to wear mini skirt so many can see my legs. No, that's not sexy. So when you go and you are ready, because men, what women don't understand, a well cultured man is looking for a woman who is well cultured. They don't want, of course, there are some men who believe in boobies and seeing women, when they see boobies, they see sex. With men, they are looking for women who are well cultured. So when they meet you, the first thing they think about, can I take this one to my mama? Introduce her to my mama. That is in their head. The first thing, nothing else. Can I actually take Nomsa and introduce her to my mama? And if the question, the way Nomsa is dressed, they're like, oh, my mom will be telling me off. So they judge you straight away. So even if you are a good woman, so it's very, very important to make sure you dress sexy, elegant as you want, but make sure this is covered, so you don't miss out, because there are well-cultured men out there who just judge you for no reason. So you don't miss out. And for me, as a matchmaker, when I'm looking for a man who is a woman who is looking for marriage, I don't look for woman. If you are going out and you are dressed out like this, I approach you and I tell you I like you to come to my office and register, but come and dressed properly, because that's my values. Over to you, Dr. Bigot.
I love that. I love you mentioned basically two things in there. The first one is to and I would agree with you, Reina, as well. You want to be enthusiastic, you want to be available and be open, but don't be you want to be eager, but no, to have boundaries. And like you say, it's in Numsa, the to be enthusiastic, be available, and but there is a difference between that and being desperate. and then and also, I love how you mentioned it is really, you also want to know what you really want to have a clarity. What is it that you're really looking for? So if you are, if you are alone, if you are alone, if you are welcoming to somebody into your life in particular, and if the same thing, even if you want to bring more passions into your current life, if to be more loving, what is it that you're really looking for? Now, if you, what you're looking for is somebody to just have fun, which is, there are people who only want to have fun, and surely it is definitely, then you want to have fun in whatever that fun that in your mind, and that might be going out there half dressed, so to say, or half covered. But if you are looking for somebody who are to be on a long-term relationship, and if you want to welcome somebody who to be creating a family with, to be create like you said, you are comfortable bringing to your mama, and this is what, in a way, right? I mean, the gentleman want a lady who they are comfortable bring to their family. And the same thing, if you are a lady, if you want a gentleman whom you are comfortable bringing to your family and create a future with, somebody who is classy as yourself and respectable and so forth, then you want to present yourself accordingly. And it's one thing that it's kind of bring back my memory to my sweetheart. Actually, it's very interesting that you says that. And and at some point early in our relationships, I asked him, I said, so what's the what make you stop and talk with me? And this is also the true testament to what Nupsa say. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. With me, the way I met my sweetheart was, I was at an event. I was at a coaching event, and at the end of that, after at the end of the day, I step out. It was late in the evening, and I was tired. It was like completely tired, and still have an email, a very important, urgent email to send that day. This was already like almost 10 o'clock in the evening, and then I sat down. I didn't want to wait on the elevator, so I sat down, and I'm like, I'm just gonna sit down here and send email out of my phone. Start typing my email, and this gentleman stopped by and start speaking with me. And at first I didn't realize, but then when I realized he was talking to me, the first thing that come to my mind truly was, after as I answered his question, I'm like, oh God, I'm busy. I just leave me alone. To be honest. And at least with me, I'm trained to be very polite and appropriate. And so I still answer his question as warmly and as kind as possible. And so imagine if you actually sat there and said, you know what, I'm busy, I'm just gonna ignore him. Or I'm busy and I'm just gonna be giving very short courteous answer, then I probably would have not been with this amazing person who's been he's amazing in every way, a very successful person, and good in every possible way. So so just like, even when you're super busy, even when you're like, I'm running late, or what have you, oh guys, I'm tired, or what have you, what is the best way you could be yourself authentically, because that's also the other important part. I'm glad Numsas mentions there that she will tell you how to be proper and appropriate, but not exactly not to be not yourself. And that is something that I find being a grief coach, being a grief coach, strangely enough, that's one thing that many people come to me many years later, actually, typically. And one of the reasons many people end up getting divorced, actually, is because they said, you know what, this is the persons I met. And then it seems to be so awesome. I love exercise, he love exercise, or I love museum, he loved museums. And then we got married and we went boom. And then years later, I find out that, oh, this person was only doing things like that when we were dating in the first 6 months of our marriage, because they was really want to be married, and now that they are married, they don't care anymore. But imagine that you're marrying into somebody with a completely false image. The person still have the passions. Your husband or your now husband or wife still love what it is that they love, and now you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. I never want to exercise. So can we just sit at home and watch movie and eat bonbon? Or I hated I hated museums, actually. Those are all ridiculous, and you actually start talking bad about the this is truly happening in some client here. And you actually like start making fun of all these things that the other person so admire. Imagine that. I mean, that will not go well. So you want to be yourself 100%, and to be also be the persons that you would love. What do you think about that, Numsan? To really, even with your interests and things, to truly be yourself.
I think true authenticity is very, very important, Dr. Bigot. Like I'm saying to you that I used to think that for me to look sexy, I had to be showing off my body. I had to do things. I had to look at the celebrities on Instagram, and then if I dress up like them, I'm going to find love. But what I didn't realize is celebrities as well that I admire. They are people who have worked out their lives, who have chosen that lifestyle that they are living, how they dress. They had to go and get the stylist who can help them to become what they have become. Here comes me. I'm looking at them. I'm like, I like your style. And then I go and copy them. So true authenticity is very, very important. If you want to find love in 30 days, you can find love in 30 days. Like Dr. Bigot says, you have to create your image. You have to create your character based on who you are. It doesn't matter what background you are. You come from a poor family, rich family. Embrace yourself. Embrace your bloodline. Whatever you believe to be true about yourself, build that image based on your true authenticity, because if you really, really want to find love in 30 days, the person that is going to meet you, they're going to want to meet the broken you that is not ashamed, that is not guilty of their past, is not guilty of their rejection in the past, is not guilty of working out and removing every wall, breaking every chain. That is basically that person that is very grateful. Dr. Pickett, you are basically a big fan of being grateful of life, who is being grateful of the life that they've gone through and the challenges that they have gone through. So once you embrace all that, you know who you are, go to the pub. Local pubs, if you know that locals, they drink, you drink there, or you know people, you can travel other places, cities. Tip the waitresses very well. Once you tip the waitresses very well, let them know that you are single, because the waitresses, they know everybody. Be on their side. Once you are on their side, you tip them well, you are on their side, they know somebody who is single, a nice gentleman or a nice lady. They will say, oh, by the way, the waitresses knows everything. They know everything, the challenges people are going through, because what do you do when you're coming from work? You go to the pub. You tell the waitress your day. How are you? You tell them, oh, I've had a bad day today. And then if you are regular, they get to know you. You become part of their family. So tip the waitress very well. Let them know you are single. That's the place to find love. They'll find love for you. They'll match you. They'll be like, oh, you're single. She's single, or he is single. And that love triangle, it becomes real. Go to the steakhouse. That's where single men and women hang out. Mostly is single men. Women go to the steakhouse, hang out. And once you go to the steakhouse, sports, the gym, or maybe the basically sports bars, that's where you find love. Where else? Steakhouse, I mentioned the steakhouse, and public places. Lots of public places, or there are some basically there are some places where you have to register, like they have clubs, like millionaire clubs, and these clubs, you don't a millionaire, but you are earning this amount of money, or they just welcome everyone. You become a member for a year, and then you get to know them. And then there are some basically singles that they do events, single events. There are matchmakers who do single events, or you can simply go to a matchmaker, find love. Matchmaker is very costly, it's not cheap. If you are busy, I'm not going to lie to you. But for women, for me, with my agency, you register for free. So you can find love in those places. And you can find love anywhere. To tell you the truth, anyway, as long you are ready and you are willing to actually find, everything is all about the mindset. You have to basically change your mindset if you are single, and but stay away from those people basically that are broken. These people like you see them and you say you text them, you email them. Like let's say you go on dating apps, you text them, you email them. 1 minute they are talking to you, and the next thing they are not talking, and the next thing they come back to you like I've been busy, or my mother has been in a hospital, and then they text you. 1 minute they go away again, messing up with your emotions. Basically, they are messed up because they are talking to other people as well. So you being caught up in that cycle. So what you need to do is stay away from those kind of people. Even if you go on dating apps, you have to be somebody who is ready for business. Your profile has to tell the story. What story are you telling on your profile? Everything. It tells the story. You have to be different. I've realized there's women from Ukraine and Americans, when they go on the dating site, they mean business. Europe, no. Some European, like other countries, they're not serious. UK, basically, if I can scale them when it comes to dating, putting their profile, if that person has a dating coach, you can go online and say this one has a dating coach, or they are working with somebody else who is coaching them. But without a dating coach, UK, when it comes to profile, I will give them maybe 2 out of 10. They basically don't make an effort when it comes to putting profiles and everything, but you have to make an effort. I'm afraid that's how life is. Over to you, Dr. Bigot.
That is very true. And with everything in life, it is how much you put into it will give you back, right? It's something like everything. I mean, whether it's your work, imagine if you have a work or if you are a student, you go and say, yeah, I'm only going to be working 10 hours a week on a job that's supposed to get to you're supposed to be working 40 hours. I think you don't have the job much longer. So, and the same thing, if you are a student and regardless of what you commit, what it is that you commit into. If you are a student, if let's say you want to become a doctor, and you go into doctor's training, medical training, then, well, you might just need to be suddenly putting about 80 hours a week. And if that's not for you, then you might want to choose into some things that's different. And the same thing, which is like what Numsa saying here. If you want somebody who are successful and classy and this and that and so forth, then you would want to be that person. You want to match accordingly. If you somebody who are all want somebody who would loves to be with someone who is faithful and focused on you and so forth, then what are you bringing into the table? I know people, and I've known people who come and sometimes as my client, because the other person, like Numsa says, they're in and out and in and out and in and out. And there are times when I say, okay, so what's going on? And they're like, well, because I decided to go on a trip with all the girls, and something that he actually would have wanted me to be there, and for his family, and he has a family event. I didn't want to go. I want to go on party with the girls for the whole week instead. And I said, well, so if you want to be able to do that, wouldn't it make sense that he also would want to be able to go and party with the boys whenever he liked to? And now you are upset about it. What are you bringing into the table? And so you can't ask somebody to. We talked this on my podcast the other day, Numsa. You do not you. It doesn't work where you kind of like basically just sit there and want to be Cinderella. Cinderella is wonderful in the fairy tale. Cinderella, excuse me, is not for our daily life. And even if you really look at Cinderella's story, yes, of course, financially, Cinderella was hugely different than the prince. But if you look into the story, well, we know that, as Numsa says and I say, it's not, it's yes, your appearance and where you are, but even more, it is who you are. Are you able to be fully 100%? If you look at Cinderella's story, notice it really closely. Pay a close attention in the teaching in it. How is Cinderella? Yes, Cinderella is very poor. Cinderella is being tortured by the steps and siblings and stepmother. And above all those, Cinderella stays very nice. Cinderella's very sweet. Cinderella's not bitter. Cinderella don't say, God, I just hate. Yes, she cried. Of course, it's very normal to cry when you're going through things. But she didn't get bitter. She didn't say, I just hate everybody now because life is so miserable. She wasn't doing that. She didn't go to the party because the fairy didn't come to help her and take her to the party because she is sitting there and pouting, oh God, I just hate this and I hate that. Everybody going to the party, oh poor me. And she wasn't like sitting there blaming and self-pitying. And when the fairy take her to the party, she was fully present. She wasn't say, oh, let me see how I'm going to compete and actually now makes my steps feeling bad. Not something like that. And so she is, with everything that's going on, she was able to stay pure and stay positive instead of being bitter because you have 15 other gentlemen or 15 other ladies before this that makes you bitter about love or something like that. And then if you really look at the Cinderella story, Cinderella also is very proactive. Yes, she is all these things is super limited by her family, and even among those, she's still able to be very proactive. She doesn't sit in the back in the kitchen and just say, okay, well, pity me. I guess nothing gonna happen ever. Well, nothing will ever happen if that's the case. She asks help. She asks help. She asks help from her little friend, the mices, and everything. She asks for help. She welcome help. She asks for help from the fairy godmother. And when the opportunity come, when the help, there is an opportunity to receive help, she jump in, she try to make dresses. See, when the prince come around the second time, she says, okay. So even though she was in the kitchen, she managed to somehow, some way, proactively go see the prince and put her foot in the slipper. Imagine if she's not being proactive, what would that happen? Cinderella stories will never happen. So what can I invite you? What can you do proactively this week? I challenge you. This is exactly 3 weeks away from Valentine's Day. So we're gonna create a challenge for you, our daily challenge for the next 3 weeks. What can you do today? What can you do today? What can you do this week differently than what you've been doing that would allow you to be one step closer, even if it's a tiny step? Perhaps you choose to, as Numsa said, dress slightly differently. Or perhaps one thing that I practiced when I was single, which is not very much time at all at any time point, but one thing that I practice is, as I apply in my story, I learned very well to always be very proper and courteous, regardless of what I'm dealing with and what have you. If somebody come and talk with me, I stop. I stop and I look at them and actually politely and kindly and with as much of a smile you can have at that day, at that moment, to talk and say and speak with them. And so perhaps something like that you just promise yourself that you're going to do that. And so that is something that you can do. What is it that you're going to do? Let's put yourself in our challenge for the next 3 weeks. What is it that you would be able to do? And so I don't know where Numsa's ran away to, but she will be back very shortly. But write down for yourself. What is some challenge that you'll be able to do? Looks like
Something.
maybe there's a box there. So what is in the box, Numsa?
Oh, so this box, when you were saying, yeah, how you find love and stuff. So I remembered this box. You said when your spouse, when you met your spouse, you were very, very busy, and but your mindset, you knew that you were single and you were looking for love. But when your spouse, basically the first time when he greeted you, basically you're busy, you're in a rush, but you stopped. And and you stopped and you gave them that time. So this is for like picky women, because you are a big basically you are a big fan of being grateful. So this is for those women and men who are really, really picky when it comes to love, and they end up being single and dying alone. So basically when you look at if you are somebody who is picky, so you have to look at every woman and every man. Like, let's say you are a man who is single, look at every woman like a present that is wrapped and waiting to be opened. When you see every woman, you have to see a present that is wrapped and is waiting to be opened. You have no idea what's inside the box. And when you look at men, like women, if you are single, like well, that's what Dr. Bickett had. Her mindset was like that, but she didn't have a clue. That's who she was. And you have to look at, if you are a man who is single, just look at, or a woman, just look at this box. What if I say hello to this woman? What will it be inside of that box? Instead of looking at him and saying, wow, he's short, I don't like his eyes, I don't like his hair color, I don't like his hands. He's got small hands. I like men with big hands. And when a woman looks at a man, when a man looks at a woman, it's like he's like, she's short. I don't like her. Not my type. I like blonde. Maybe that day she's original blonde. That day she's dyed her hair brown. So I like blonde. I don't like this. So, but the tip is basically what I'm trying to say is, if you look at every man, you look at every woman, like men, if you are single, look at your woman, every woman, like everything that is unwrapped. Look at this box, how beautiful it is, but you don't know what's inside this box. So when you don't have to be picky, because when you being picky, you end up being alone. You end up also picking the blonde, who is the wrong woman for you. Because when God created you, He didn't say, I'm going to give you the blonde girl. And when God created you women, He never said, I'm going to give you the man who has blue eyes. So what God does, basically, what the universe or God, whatever your beliefs, that might be me, I believe in God. What does the universe do as well? You're single, you've been through a lot in life, and the universe know exactly the man who is going to look after you, is going to be there for you, and like even the women the same. So if you tell the universe and you make a decision for God, God is going to say, okay, I'm going to let you pick whatever you want. But if you say to the universe, you know what, I'm sick and tired of men who are wasting my time. I'm sick and tired of women who are wasting my time. I need a woman who is going to be my mentor, who is going to stand by me. I need a man who is going to be my mentor, stand by me, and basically be my cultivator, be my children's teachers, have a vision. God will give you a present. Maybe you like men who are 5', 6'2", or maybe 6 foot. God will give you a man who is 5'9". In that man's heart, God knows that this man has everything, the qualities that you are looking for. In this box, God knows the woman has all the qualities that you are looking for, but that day they just happen to dye their hair brown, not blonde. So it's very, very important. When you say you like blonde hair, that is a fetish. So you have to get rid of fetish and look at what's on the inside within. Honestly, I love men who looks after me. I love men that I look after them, be there for each other. Men who's gonna enter the spirit of love. And I know the hair color. Honestly, many people dye their hair, but I'm looking for love. I'm not looking for the hair color. I'm looking for God to connect me. Because if you say, I like this color, that becomes fetish. That becomes like the world. You're following the world. So just look at this. You don't know. Dr. Bigot found love in unexpected places. But she didn't know inside that man's heart, it was going to be the man that is going to hold her hands through darkest times. But that man became that. So what I'm trying to say is, when you meet somebody, don't dismiss them. But you know your type. I'm not saying just go out and date everybody. No. But all I'm saying is, don't dismiss people because of hair color, because of brown color is a bit silly. So because the reason is, hair colors change. My hair colors change. If you go and look at my pictures, my hair colors changes all the time because I dye my hair. I do this with my hair, basically. So what I'm saying is, just not accepting everything, but you know what's real, the authenticity of life. You know it. Go for it. Don't be a woman who is picky or a man who is picky saying, oh, I can't find my type. Those who say that, they die single, keep saying, I can't find my type. And then they get older, 60, they're panicking. So that's what I'm saying. Over to you, Dr. Bigot. I had to go and get this because of your story.
Yeah, exactly. That is so adorable, and that is so true. Be open, be open and be open and open minded. It's funny that you say that, because my sweetheart, when I first met him, the very first time I saw him, I actually, somewhere in the back of my mind, as I realized what he was trying to do, which is trying to talk with me and all these things, I thought, he's not my type. He really, at the moment, particularly. And remember, also about this, your mind changed to from time to time. People appearance change from time to time. You might see the person's not in their normal setup as well. To even start with, not only you change your hair color, right, for women and sometimes men, but the other persons also. You can look at somebody, you're like, not my type because of the way he dressed or she dressed. Well, what if at that one particular moment the person's dress or what have you in certain way because of who knows whatever going on, and that's not even the typical. And which is what happened with me. And I was looking at this guy thinking, oh my god, this is he's not quite my type, and I just like want to be polite. And then I actually, as I allow him to speak, and as I allow him to speak, and as I practice listening, and I listen to what he says more than the surface, and I say, he's actually a pretty nice person, and it's actually I think I will go out with him once. Let's go out once. I mean, how far? It doesn't hurt to to go for coffee or a drink or something. We're just going to go out once, and let me just give myself and him an opportunity and just take a look. Well, the next time I saw the person where he was more in his environment, he was doing something for his friend at that moment. But when we met, but the next time I met the persons, I was like, well, look completely different. Still the same persons, but otherwise different, and it's more of his character. The more of his character, the way he does thing, and all this other thing, and, and I felt like, oh my goodness! Imagine if I'm like, oh, honey, it's you not my type. And so that's something that we want to be open. We want to be open. We want to be available, but not desperate, as Rena says, and Namsa say. You want to be open. You want to give yourself an opportunity and others the opportunity. Kind of like says, give the benefit of the doubt, because like Namsa say, you never know what's in that box. And then everybody, sometimes, yeah, someone might be happen to be having a bad wrapping that day, possible, for instance, but the inside of the box might be super duper amazing jewel, right? And you want to clear your baggage. You want to clear the baggage that you have, and you want to clear all the invisible baggage. Because of why? That invisible baggage, the one that you don't even know you have until perhaps you listen to this and hear me saying it, is actually the one that cover your heart, the one that make you build a wall around your heart, or the one that make you defensive, the one that make you react when something happen. And when that is still going on, that is something that make you seemingly keep hitting the glass ceiling, that you seems like you move forward and something's just pull you back and you start over, ground zero. That's usually because you have an invisible baggage, so called invisible, unrecognized, hidden grief. If that's been going on with you, then please do connect with me. I'll be delighted to help you with that and support you with that. And otherwise, if you have all this time just kind of like wondering what's out there beside all the dating apps, well, now you know what Numsa does, and she will be able to give you tips and tools. As he says, for the ladies, she's actually here to help you without even costing you a penny. And then for the gentlemen, she's here to help you as well, to give you tips, tools, and support you. So if you are single, you have no reasons to not connect with us if you are serious. Unless you say, well, I'm single, I want to be with somebody, but I don't really mean it. I just kind of saying it. Then, of course, not really. But if not, you want to be connecting in the one of us, and join our challenge. Join our challenge for the next 21 days, now to Valentine days. what is one thing that you can do differently today? Share in the chat here, share in the comment below, and put a post of you. Perhaps you say, this is how I usually carry myself outside, not looking at anybody, and this is how I've been doing my carrying myself today. Share with us, and so let's do that. All this show is for you, always for you, and so we're here for you to help you bring the love that you love into your life. You're muted, Numsa.
You so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Biget. For me, basically, I leave you with this. Date people. If you are single, date people who are better than your type. You know the kind of people who are better than your type. Because if you keep saying, this is not my type, this is not my type. So date those who are better than your type. You know what they have within themselves. They have the qualities of marriage. They have worked on themselves and they know exactly what they want. So you want people like that. Like Dr. Biget said, please get in touch with us at Ngozi Talk Shows and Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency. If you have gone through challenging times, she is a grief coach. She can help you, because when we grieve in so many people, when we are being rejected, we're grieving. It's not death, it's not just the grieving only. We lose something, we lose someone, that is grieving. And maybe divorce, that is grieving. So basically, we grieve in different ways. So if you feel that you are not in a good place and you are grieving, you want to talk to somebody, Dr. Biget is here. If you are looking for love, and you basically ready to find love, no games, please get in touch with me. I help you to find that love. For men, as long as you can afford me, we're good to go. Live with grace, everyone. We are here Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time, and see you tomorrow. God bless you and live with grace.